Two of the big problems with underwater video are loss of colour and loss of contrast. Colour starts to go as soon as you drop below the surface. Red first, but the rest of the colours follow until essentially you've got a monochrome image. Modern action cameras have sensors with image processing software that can recover an amazing amount of that lost colour. But not all. You can use video lights to restore colour and contrast, but lights don't penetrate a great deal of distance through the water. And most clips are going to benefit from some post-processing. I use VSDC for post because it runs well on my modest laptop, has very powerful editing features, and has colour balancing tools I find easy to understand and use. VSDC is free to download, though a $20 annual fee unlocks additional features you may or may not ever need. This is the basic VSDC editing panel. Top right, this is where you import clips. Timeline down at the bottom with 4 clips already imported and displayed. Then the bottom right hand side you have the scopes window. This first clip's highlighted, and what the scopes window shows is the distribution of colour actually in that clip. So for a clip like that, it was recorded in clear blue water at about 10 meters depth. To colour correct that, what I would do to start with is go up to Editor here at the top, click on that, and then click on Auto Levels. And that's probably all that I'm going to do to that particular clip. This second clip was also shot in round about 8 to 10 meters of water. So to start off with, I'm going to try using Auto Levels again. And that's come out very nicely there. The only thing with it is it might think that it's a little bit redder than it needs to be. So if I go over to Basic Effects here, the Effects window allows me to adjust brightness, contrast, the various colours, colour temperature and tint, saturation and sharpness of the footage. And what I want to do is to go to red, which is here, and I just want to take the red down a little bit to see if that makes it look better. And maybe it does. The whole thing about this colour balancing is that you're trying to achieve something that is acceptable to you, and that looks quite good to me. This third clip was shot much deeper, 20 to 25 meters. If I try the Auto Levels route on that, then it produces something which is far, far too red. I can try taking the red down using the Basic Effects window, but it still leaves these sparkly red veins, which I don't like. So what I'm going to do is to get rid of the red adjustment and the Auto Levels adjustment. You'll notice the scopes here hasn't reverted to as it should be, so what you need to do is to click on a different clip, and then you can go back to where it was. And then what I'm going to try and do is to look at that image and decide what actually needs doing to it. And to me that's simply far too blue, and it doesn't have as much red in it. If you look at the scopes window, you can see exactly the same thing. The blue graph is much too far to the right, the red graph pushed right over to the left. So what I'm going to do is to take out some blue, and then I'm going to add in some red. And that looks quite nice. Now you notice the graphs don't come to the end of the scopes window, so I can add a little bit of contrast to try and add a bit of oomph to the image. By moving like the brightness a little bit, by playing with the brightness, by playing with the contrast a little bit, what I can do is to try and find something that I think looks like the actual dive site looked when I red on it. I don't think that looks too bad. Perhaps a little bit more contrast in there. Maybe some more red in it as well. So just click that red up a little bit. And that to me looks pretty good. So I'm going to leave that as it is now. The fourth clip was shot deeper again. This is at 40 meters or so. And at 40 meters, well, you're not going to be able to do a great deal with the color. If I do try the auto levels route, it just makes everything look oversaturated and over red, which is not what I'm looking for at all. So what I'm going to do with that one is basically just push the red up just a touch. And I'm going to add a little bit of contrast to make it pop a little bit better, and just leave it at that. At that sort of depth, there isn't a great deal more you can do with the colour. So those are 4 clips, different depths. I think the key thing is to simply look at the clip that you've got to try and work out what the overall colour cast on the clip is, and then try to adjust it until it's something that you are happy with. I think whether it's auto levels, taking a little bit of red out, whether it's adjusting the colour from scratch, or whether it's just putting a little bit of contrast back into the image, I think that achieved what I wanted to do with each of those 4 clips.